Well, let's get those nerds! Nerds! Nerds!
Hey, yeah, beautiful hair.
Oh, welcome one and all to Florida Friday. We got a case. That's right. That's where we go to the great state of Florida and allow them to expose, show, and enjoy their judicial system here in the great state of Florida, or as some people call it, Southern Canada. Glad everybody's here joining us today. It's going to be a fun time. I'm all alone, just you and me. We're going to have a fun time. So make sure you say hello in the comments. I will do my best to keep up with them. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to get them all. I'm not going to make any promises I can't keep. It is a fabulous Friday, by the way. So here, I have an announcement I will be making during, we got a chase today. So the only thing I can say is clear out your Saturday night on the 14th, next Saturday. On the 14th, clear out your Saturday night because me and you, we're going to be hanging out. It's going to be a good time, a very fun and great opportunity. I was just offered not even an hour or two ago. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And you know what? We're doing big things around here. Big things. Slightly big. Larger than normal. Good to see everybody. Let's jump on into it and see what's happening in the great state of Florida.
You're here for first appearance because you've been accused of one count of aggravated battery. Miss Loveit, there is probable cause in the complaint. I'm going to see if either Mr. McDaniel or Miss Bremer have any additional information, ma'am, before I address your bond. Mr. McDaniel.
Your Honor, Miss Loveit works at Goodwill. She's a local resident.
Goodwill.
Community, lived her whole life. We'd ask the court to consider a conditional release. I don't think she has, but a little bit of a driving history, maybe record. You know, if that's an option, you know, or reasonable bond or reasonable cash bond.
Okay, so she works at the Great Will. that's one step up above the Goodwill is the Great Will. The Goodwill, she's, you know, we're saying she's never been in trouble before. You know, why not? Let's just let her out. She, you know, you get upset when somebody's coming through trying to sell you something over at the Goodwill. They're like, look, I don't want to buy this stained up mattress. You know, to get pushy. So what judges got to say.
Ms. Bremer.
Your Honor, the facts in the affidavit are concerning. The defendant did stab the victim deeply enough that his lung was punctured. So the state would request a reasonable bond and no.
Oh shit! Look at her attorney. Look at her like, bitch! You didn't tell me you punctured somebody's lung. Damn.
Contact with the victim.
Thank you, Ms. Loveit. One of the factors is your criminal history, and I may have some stuff that Mr. McDaniel may not have access to because it appears like maybe juvenile stuff out of Leon County. This criminal history I've got shows an aggravated battery out of Tallahassee Police Department as a juvenile. Was that you, or is this not you?
Me, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess it's not sealed. He says she's got a bunch of juvenile assaults. Holy crap. You went deep on that one. Again, the attorney says, no history of crime, nothing violent, nothing happened around here. No sirree, Bob. And the judge says, not so fast.
And also an ag assault, a battery with 2 prior convictions, all of this Tallahassee stuff, multiple crimes of violence that you've been accused of as a juvenile. So what I'm gonna do is set your bond, ma'am, at $25,000. This was a very serious incident, and I don't know if the person's out of the hospital now, but this is twice in the last couple of months. Now, the last time I think you were the alleged victim, and this time you're the defendant. Probably 3 times in the last year that you and this same person have been in these altercations. Your bond's $25,000, and you have a bond of absolutely no contact with Mr. Richardson. Now, just so you know, Mr. Richardson, it appears there's evidence he violated his bond by having contact with you. So I'm asking the state attorney's office to send me a warrant for his arrest when he does get out of the hospital. So you need to understand that there are consequences for violating the no contact order. The reason I'm telling you that, ma'am, is if you post bond, you can have no contact with him whatsoever. He can have no contact with you. Somebody's going to get killed if we don't do something to stop this. So you've got no contact with him, but you do have a cash or surety bond. And to your friend Angela in the courtroom, cash or surety, ma'am, she can go through a bondsman.
Just get a
But
piece
she
of
can
it.
have no contact with Mr. Richardson, and he can have no contact with her. He's going to be in jail as soon as he gets out of the hospital, hopefully.
It's a rocky relationship, Your Honor. I mean, no doubt about it. We've both been in jail recently, attacking each other, but this time it sounds like she stabbed this guy, and hopefully he doesn't die. If he dies, oof, that's a huge charge.
Let me see if Miss Angela has any questions first. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Angela?
Okay. And Miss Loveit, do you have any questions, ma'am? All right. Have a good day, ma'am. The next person that has friends or family here
Friends and family.
is the number fourth case.
The
on
best
docket,
phone
Roger
plan they ever
Baxter,
had. My circle.
Brother and sister-in-law. Brother and sister.
Brother and sister. Well, she's ugly.
Mr. Baxter, good morning. Your brother and your sister are both in the courtroom. I believe you were taken into custody yesterday during injunction court, according to the complaint, after allegedly admitting to violating the terms of a court-ordered injunction. Mr. Baxter, I think you're entitled to a bond in this case, but I have been advised that this may or may not become a felony, and that may not necessarily be a bad thing. To the brother and sister, I know we had Mr. Baxter before. Maybe some medical issues contributing to his.
Not Mr. Baxter. What about Gary? Does Gary count as Mr. Baxter?
Gary, where are you?
2 bones from the Gare Man, the Garester, the Gare Bear. You're on the Almighty Express.
His behavior, sometimes you can get more help with a felony charge than you can a misdemeanor charge. So by text this morning, Ms. Bremer has advised that they will be looking at the possibility of a felony charge because it's been alleged that he had a weapon, and that may open more doors for help from Mr. Baxter. I don't know that anyone thinks he needs to be in jail, but it's certainly a situation where we've got to do something to protect him and protect the public. Mr. Baxter, I'm going to see if Mr. McDaniel or Ms. Bremer have any additional information I need to be aware of before I set you a bond. Mr. McDaniel?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Bremer?
Your Honor, the state requests a reasonable bond and no contact with Terry Strout.
Mr. Baxter, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000 cash or surety because you just got out of jail recently. It's
Terry Stroud. Do you think like this old dude's in love with Terry? I'm assuming Terry's a woman. I hate to say that. Leather Lash is good to see you. Colonel Sanders, Buffalo Bill, a lot of great analogies for this handsome older gentleman.
a cash or surety bond, no contact with the alleged victim. You've already got a court order of no contact. I'm issuing another one. Unfortunately, well, maybe not unfortunately, but Florida law requires me to set you a bond. You're entitled to one. So that's the bond I'm going to set. Mr. McDaniel, let me ask this question. I know that you can have him evaluated on a misdemeanor. There's not a whole lot we can do if the evaluation comes back saying he needs some type of residential assistance. But
Comes down if he's going to be a threat to society or not, and I don't, Same
So
way in
let me ask
felonies.
this. Well, yeah, but the felony, I think they have more options on the felony. I know they do. Ms. Bremer, I'm going to ask the state to kind of put this at the top of your list of decisions, at least to make the decision whether it's going to be a felony. There's nothing in this complaint that would qualify for a felony, but my understanding is there was some allegations in the injunction hearing from the alleged victim that he may have possessed a weapon that could qualify for a felony possibly.
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that, I do anticipate that a felony will be filed soon.
Ugh, that's not good.
Mr. McDaniel, if I can help speed the process up,
I've never heard a judge make a felony charge coming your way sound so good as this guy has. I'm guessing, though, it would allow them an opportunity to maybe get them some sort of mental evaluation, maybe get them in some sort of facility or something. I don't know. Maybe he needs a little bit of help.
evaluation process that is. And if the state does charge a felony, or if you want me to go ahead and have him evaluated now, please let me send me an order and I'll try to get that process started. It's normally a several week process from order to evaluation to results to final placement. But there are more placement options with felonies than there are with misdemeanors. In the meantime, he's got the right to post bond. Whether he posts bond or not, Mr. Baxter, is entirely up to y'all. It's just a difficult situation.
KCC, are you doing Uber lifts or doing lifts or what are you doing? Or you keep talking about giving people rides. I need more details. And you spelled favorite wrong.
He does have a condition, no contact with the alleged victim. Didn't I suggest to the
So
daughter
busy, Mom.
to a guardianship proceeding last time she was in court?
Guardianship.
Come forward.
Absolutely. Sure. Just come on up here, Mr. Baxter, in front of the microphone. I remember the last case, and there was a power of attorney, and his property had been transferred to her, and I suggested she look into a guardianship, I think.
Well, I don't know about guardianship, but she has a durable power of attorney
Okay.
that was granted to her, or he gave to her sometime back.
Power
All
of
right.
Okay.
He was arrested for domestic abuse.
Was she the alleged victim?
She was the
In that
alleged
case.
victim.
Okay.
All right. He cannot go back to that house,
Even now.
even now.
Let me
Even
ask
now.
why. Is it because of an injunction or is it because that case is not pending, right?
That case has been dismissed.
So it's the only reason she couldn't come back there is either because of a trespass warning or an injunction. You ladies, you may know.
Junction.
She
What's
was-
your-
I
There's
told
an
him he
injunction.
needed to stay away. I told him when he was here, when he left, he needed to
Okay.
stay away from it.
And Ms.
Okay.
Dottie's telling me that the injunction was extended. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Baxter. I'm just trying to make sure I got all the boxes filled here.
When he was arrested before he was in jail, he was released to her friend, Terry Stout.
I remember that now.
All right. She was in the courtroom when this
Wait,
occurred.
this alleged victim is named Stout.
You're right.
So she-
But he was in his custody, left not his custody, but for him to take care of until he returned back.
Okay.
She had
So Terry is a guy? So let me get this straight. Last time this guy was in here for domestic violence against his daughter got this guy Terry to get him out. And now he has assaulted Terry? Is that what we're with? Damn. He's a horrible roommate.
the case dismissed.
She being who? The daughter?
The daughter dismissed the case.
Okay.
All right. He was still staying at Terry's because he could not go back to her house, according to her, because when the domestic abuse occurred, she's got a 10-year-old son there. And child protection team would not let him go back.
Okay.
I said, have you talked to him to see about him coming back?
Jim,
All right. She didn't bother to tell the court
take your time.
that he had two young girls, I think age 7 and maybe 9. I'm not for sure that they were living at the house at the time he was released, but they did come back and have been there ever since.
At which house? The Stout home?
Right.
Okay.
All right. He's had no problem with those.
Okay.
The injunction
following
the other day, and I'm not sure the status of how it began, about Tuesday was a week ago. For whatever reason, I don't know. Anyway, the deputies went there. He was to be taken for evaluation or Baker Act. I'm not sure what it was. They had an encounter with him, physical encounter. He never got to be evaluated. He was placed at Jackson Hospital, stayed there for, I think, a week or right at it for evaluation. They released him. He was competent, having hallucinations and these weird thoughts, but he was competent.
Are you competent if they release you and you're having weird thoughts, like he just said? They said he was confident. He was having weird thoughts, but he was competent. Maybe he is not competent. You're riding. Oh, you're at Universal. Lucky. You sure went to the park when we were there. Had to wait for me to leave town.
And whenever he got out, he walked and caught
Jim.
rides back to Malone to Stout's house to get his truck, which they had left there. I told him, get the truck and remove it. Didn't do any good. And whenever he got his truck, he left. He went back to get some of his property, and that was the violation of the injunction.
Okay. So you can say Terry Stout and you've said she. The complaint I've got says Terry Stout, white male. Is Terry Stout a male or female?
He's the male.
I apologize, Mr. Goodwill. I do. I'm very sorry.
He's the one that supposedly.
Wait. The lady that was here that day was a female that he went in their custody. Who is that? Was that a male that was here that let him go in the custody? Said he was going to take care of him? Or was it a lady?
That's
It was
his
a
dog.
male.
No, that's his
Okay.
dog.
Okay, so the
We're having
person
gender
who he was
issues.
living with is the alleged victim in the violation of injunction.
Right.
Okay, so what?
You know, I'm good with my hands. Think you in law. 5 big ones. That's more than we made, I think, all day yesterday. So I appreciate it.
What do you think needs to happen? A guardianship could solve this. And
You guys think this old guy
I
needs a
suggest
guardianship?
to the daughter? That's where someone says, Judge, this person's incapable of making normal day decisions. If you appoint me over them, I'll be responsible for doing it. And that person actually has authority without criminal charges at all to place your brother in a facility that's appropriate, if that's the thing that needs to happen. But a guardianship hasn't been filed as far as I know. So what other options, what needs to happen with your brother?
He needs to be placed somewhere where he can be cared for.
Okay.
I don't think he has got the mental stability to take care of his own self in whatever situations arise.
Okay.
And when he was at Jackson Hospital, they had found a place for him to go temporarily in Geneva for a short period of time. Then they were going to a place in the veterans home. He didn't
He's a
want to go.
veteran.
He was confident, so they released him.
And the guardianship fixes that problem. What a guardianship does, think of it this way: a power of attorney takes your rights and shares them with someone else. You still have your rights, but you've shared them. A guardianship is where a court takes away your.
Again, I don't know how having weird thoughts and hallucinating is competent, but again, I digress. He said that it was competently confident about being competent. Again, hit the like button. We appreciate it.
Decision-making authority and gives them to someone else. You're not sharing them as much as you are. The judge is transferring those authority. So it sounds like a guardianship may be the appropriate course of action, but I can't file a guardianship. It's got to be a friend or family member that's willing to assume those responsibilities. And for whatever reason, his daughter hasn't done that. And a guardianship is not cheap. It can cost a couple $1,000s.
Ooh,
So,
pass.
Mr. Baxter, all I can do is set a bond today.
Thank you,
My
Stephen.
suggestion is you talk to Mr. Sims, because I don't know it's going to be Mr. McDaniel's case. If the state files a felony, it won't be Mr. McDaniel's. Mr. Sims may have some ideas. He knows more about placement options than I do. But there may be, if the family is aware of some facility that we can send him to under a court order, I certainly will consider it. But I can't keep letting him go back to the same property if somebody's gonna get hurt, either himself or somebody else.
After he got out from Jackson Hospital this week earlier,
Mhm.
he got his truck, got some of his property. Yesterday, when he was here, I carried his truck home. He don't have access to his truck. I went to Terry Stout's house and got the rest of his property. He has no reason at all to go back there now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Got all the
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you for coming and being here. Mr. McDaniel, any additional information you need from Mr. Tom Baxter that you may be helpful in Mr. Roger Baxter's case? Any questions?
Oh, we're going to hear from Mr. Baxter, not this brother, Mr. Baxter, but the Mr. Baxter. Go ahead, Mr. Baxter.
You want to ask him?
No, Your Honor, I don't think I have anything.
Ms. Bremer?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Baxter. Mr. Roger Baxter, do you have any questions, sir?
Roger.
There's plenty of questions, but I don't think there's anything anybody cares to hear about, to be honest with you. It's all the same crap over and over.
Mr. Baxter, I'm going to set your bond today because you're entitled to it, but you had no history, I think no criminal history at all your whole life until the last 2 or 3 months. We got to figure out what's going on with you, sir, to cause this sudden.
Roger got a wild hair up his ass all of a sudden, right? Speaking of wild hairs, gearing off with 2 bones. I mean, maybe Mr. Baxter needs it. I know I needed that. Oh, no, you're going to miss us? Oh, that's sad. Breaks my heart. Also, this helps my heart. Demented old circus monkey. Sure words are never spoken.
Arrests that you've had now, 2 arrests. we got to figure it out and figure out a more permanent solution. So if you post a bond, you cannot have it. You can have no contact. I'm orders no contact with the alleged victim in this case. That's the only no contact order. That's a court order that I know about. Now, what's going on between you and your daughter and what DCF is telling her, I know nothing other than what Mr. Baxter just told me. But you've got the right to post bond. And the other thing is that Mr. McDaniel will probably see me in order.
It's my bust ass.
He's very efficient. Probably see him in order to get him evaluated the next day or so. And when he does, I'll sign it and we'll start that process. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Baxter. Thank you to the other Mr. Baxter.
Baxter and
Next
Baxter.
person who has friends or family here is
Attorneys at law.
Andrew Barnes.
Bring old Andrew up. Let's
What
see.
bond I set on Mr. Baxter? 10,000. No contact with the victim.
He forgot what he had asked for already.
This is State of Florida versus Andrew Barnes. Mr. Barnes, good morning. Your mother and your auntie are both in the courtroom. Mr. Barnes, you have a warrant out of Washington County. You're being picked up and held for them. Mr. Barnes, the warrant is for the charge of fleeing or resisting law enforcement officer with lights and sirens active. It does not have a bond on it. And Mr. Barnes, that doesn't mean you don't have a bond. What it means is you don't have a bond right now. Once you get back to Washington County, you'll go to another first appearance, and that first appearance judge at that time will set you a bond if you're entitled to one. Frankly, I don't have enough information. Normally, this is
Is that true? I didn't know that.
A case where you would get a bond. Once you get back there, unless you're already out on some kind of pretrial release, unless you're on some kind of probation, this is a charge you normally would get a bond on.
He did have.
So ladies, he'll go to Washington County. It'll be in the next couple of days. It could even be today. When he gets to Washington County, he'll go to first appearance the next morning. And at that time, whatever judge, probably be Judge Peel if it's on a weekday, that judge will review the case, determine if he's entitled to a bond. And if he is, he'll set him a bond or some other type of release.
I hate to lose a fan like that. 10 years, you know, Right Devo was around back when we did podcasts back in the day. So I am sorry to hear that.
Options such as a conditional release, but there's no bond right now on the warrant. Ladies, have any questions? Ma'am? Sure. Sure you can.
What's the warrant?
And you're his mother, correct? Your mother wants to be heard, Mr. Barnes, so she's coming up now.
Oh, Mom's is
There you go,
here.
ma'am.
Mom's. Oh no.
Oh, it's okay. You have any tissue?
Mom is upset.
Gary, tissue?
She just fell apart.
I think there's some right here, Gary. Gary, right here.
Okay. My son is suffering from a
Terminator, good to
bad
see you.
substance abuse problem.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, I went to Chipley, and I called first and asked them, what can I do to have a Marchman Act? So I talked to police officer, Officer Simmons. He was very, very nice. He told me what to do. I went that Monday to the county jail, got the Marchman Act papers, filled them out, or whatever. The judge denied it. I thought I was more being specific as I could. Just yesterday, I came up here to get the paperwork. That's gonna bring my day because I work eating the chef DOC. And I just don't know. He just needs some kind of help.
Okay. In that case, then a felony charge is not the worst thing that could happen. Unfortunately, the way our system is set up, sometimes when you're charged with a felony or accused of a felony, it opens some doors to treatment options that aren't open to individuals without certain insurance, certain type of benefits, or certain type of income, such as Medicaid or Medicare. So my suggestion is be at first appearance in Washington County and tell the judge there exactly what you're telling me. Because if it's Judge Peel, what he might consider is some type of release into a program. I can't do that because it's not a Jackson County case. And Judge Peel's probably not going to do that if he's already out on probation or some other type of bond. Is he? As far as you know?
He's out on bond.
He's out on bond. That may change things. They're going to look at the charges out on bond for, and then that judge can make that decision. I don't even know if this fleeing and looting allegedly happened before or after he was on bond.
We had a chase.
But that decision will be made by the first appearance judge in Washington County, and that judge will consider input from the state and the public defender's office or the defense attorney, whoever that is at that time. He may be at first appearance as early as tomorrow. Washington County, sometimes they're so close to us, sometimes they'll get them the same day. Corporal Jones, maybe too early to ask. Do you have any idea of when he may go to Washington County?
I notified them about an hour and a half ago, so they're usually pretty fast, but I don't have a definite answer. No, sir.
Could be today, could be tomorrow. He'll go to first appearance the next morning. So you may want to do.
Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be never. Just like Kelly trying to find a man. It might not never happen, Kelly. Have you thought about finding a woman? Just putting it out there. You got options. What other kind of options do we have? These kind. Sweet of you. I will golfer, Lisa. And a big old PP at the same time. That's called a double header, kids.
Do is check with the jail this evening, see if he's still there, or check with the Washington County Jail or Sheriff's Department and see if they know when he's going to be picked up, and then go to the next first appearance and tell the presiding judge what you've told me.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for coming, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
He's got family support. That's good. That's something you
Mr.
need.
Barnes, do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, sir. Have a good day.
It's really hard to turn it around if you don't have
We
family
also
support.
have
Last two
Jasmine
people, tons of
Campbell,
family support. I like that.
Mother-in-law here.
Oh, mother-in-law. My mother-in-law wouldn't show up to my funeral, let alone my court
Ms.
date.
Campbell, your mother-in-law is in the courtroom. You're here because you've been accused of one count of retail theft. Ms. Campbell, there is probable cause in the complaint. I'm going to appoint the public defender's officer to represent you. Ms. Campbell, the criminal history I got from the jail this morning shows no prior criminal history. Is that accurate, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm appointing the public defender's officer to represent you. Listen to Mr. McDaniel, please.
Your Honor, I spoke with Ms. Campbell. At this point, she's going to accept the pretrial intervention from the state. She'll be placed on that for 6 months. She'll pay a $370 fine. She'll take a retail theft class while she's on PTI. She can early terminate if she gets everything done in 3 months.
Take that class.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. And Ms. Campbell, did you hear that agreement?
I did.
Do you have any questions about that agreement?
No, sir.
Ms. Bremer, is that agreeable with the state?
It is, but we would request that restitution be reserved because it wasn't clear from the complaint if the items were recovered.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tease you with the chase. The last guy was in a chase. Sorry.
And no contact with.
Thank you. Two things, Ms. Campbell.
Tony.
It does
done
not
it
appear
again.
there's restitution, but the complaint may be a little vague on that regard. So I would reserve jurisdiction on restitution, which means you may or may not be ordered to pay restitution. But if you are ordered to pay restitution, you would have a right to have a hearing on that issue only. Secondly, there's a condition, no contact with any Walmart while you're on this supervision. So you cannot go to any Walmart as part of your PTI. Thirdly, every PTI comes with a conditional release. That's important because it kind of gives teeth to the program. So if you violate the PTI in a substantial way, such as not reporting in, such as going to Walmart when you're not supposed to, such as getting a new charge, any of those things and a few others can cause you to a warrant to be issued for your arrest, because violating the PTI in Jackson County is very similar to violating probation. So Ms. Campbell, I want to make sure that you understand all of that and answer any questions you have. Do you have any questions?
I don't right now.
And you do want to participate in the PTI, correct?
That's the class, right?
That's the PTI, is the first offender program. I'm going to show your case referred to the PTI program for the retail theft, 6 months, reserve jurisdiction for restitution for 60 days, 370 court costs and fines, successfully complete a retail theft counseling program, no contact with any Walmart while on supervision. So Ms. Campbell and young lady in the courtroom, she's going to be allowed to get dressed, get her clothes and her regular clothes back on. They're going to bring her to the courthouse because that's where the PTI officers are at. It's county probation office downstairs inside the county judge's office. Probation officer and PTI officer is the same person, just two different responsibilities. Are you going to be able to pick her up? Yes. It's usually about 30 minutes, about a half hour. She said she's your mother-in-law.
Who is that?
Karen.
Okay.
You okay?
It's
with
your
that?
mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's exactly why I try to tell her my name. That's my fault. But there's a camera and she can see you, but it's a very wide angle. So she knows there's somebody in a purple shirt, and that's about all she knows. So your mother-in-law says she's going to be able to pick you up, Miss Campbell, and she'll be here at the courthouse waiting for you when you get here. When you meet with Mr. Goodson or Mr. Ham, they'll go over the PTI with you. They'll answer any questions you have, and then you'll be free to go.
World's most dangerous chat proving their name solid today. This is a lot for retail theft, right? I mean, around here, people don't even have to show up for court, I don't think, for retail theft. They just give everybody like probation and stuff. This lady's really going through the ringer.
You have any questions you want to ask me, ma'am?
I don't.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
I feel so
Thank
bad
you.
that we've started this rumor about Clint
She'll be
Eastwood being
downstairs
dead today,
Roughly a half hour.
but I'm glad about that.
All right, ask Ms. Campbell.
Doodle Mom, are you in North Carolina? Because I too am in North Carolina. Go Tar Heels.
I believe that's it for friends or family in the courtroom, Mr. McDaniel.
The end of
But I
Friends
know
and
that Ms.
Family,
Wood's
guys.
Gonna be a similar result, and I know that we got to get
These
her
other
started
people,
getting processed
nobody
out.
loves them.
I think she's going to be a similar result. So let me see Nadia Wooden,
Nadia.
Ms. Campbell's co-defendant.
Oh, she was
Ms.
with
Wooden, could
the
you hear
last
everything
lady.
that we just said with Ms. Campbell?
Yes, sir.
And good. You have the same charge, one count of retail theft, no prior history as far as I can tell. And I believe the state and defense have discussed the exact same resolution in your case. I'm appointing the public defender's officer to represent you. Listen to Mr. McDaniel, please.
Your Honor, I spoke with Ms. Wooden. She's going to accept the PTI for 6 months, reserve restitution, $370 fine, retail theft class, no contact with any Walmart, and that's going to conclude her case.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. Ms. Bremer, is that agreeable with the state?
It is, Your Honor.
Who's doing
And
all
Ms.
heavy
Wooden, do you have any
breathing?
questions about any of that or anything you heard me say to Ms. Campbell?
I don't think she can agree not to go into
No,
any
sir.
Walmarts.
And you do want to do the PTI program, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Wooden, I'm going to show your case, refer to that program. It's 6 months, 370 court costs and fines. Successfully complete a retail theft program, no contact with any Walmart, and possible early termination, ma'am, just like Ms. Campbell. Ms. Wooden, the same discharge information applies to you. They'll let you get dressed. They'll let you use the phone if you wish. Then they're going to bring you to the courthouse. You can be picked up in roughly a half hour from the courthouse, not picked up from the jail. So if you want to use the same transportation as Ms. Campbell, that's between you and her mother-in-law. Otherwise, you can call your own person to pick you up. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
All right, ma'am. We'll see you in a little while at the courthouse.
I'm good. I don't need no ride with that stealing bitch. She done got me in trouble.
Gawan McQueen. Mr. McQueen, good morning. I may be mispronouncing your first name. I don't know if I've ever seen that particular spelling. How do you pronounce your name, sir?
Jawan.
Jawan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a door opened right when you said that, and I couldn't hear you. So, Mr. McQueen, you're here because you've been accused of one kind of possession.
Yeah, they're banned from Walmart. But has anybody ever been in Walmart and you're like, oh, wow, they're escorting that lady out. I wonder why. Oh, she was banned from Walmart for life. Oh, there's no enforcing that, is there? You can go to any other Walmart except the one that you stole at. My town has 4 of them. There's no way you can tell me if you stole in one of them, they're going to know to keep you out of the other one. No way you can tell me that.
No more than 20 grams of marijuana. What my criminal history showed in your case, or what your criminal history showed, is no prior history. Is that accurate, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to appoint the public defender's officer to represent you. I'm going to see if Mr. McDaniel or Mr. Bremer have any additional information. There is probable cause. However, your history is perfect. So, Mr. McDaniel, anything else on behalf of Mr. McQueen?
Your Honor, he's a local resident, works at the Caverns as a tour guide there at Caverns Park. We just asked for a cash bond.
He preferred a cash bond over conditional release?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bremer?
No objection, Your Honor. The state just requests that he not be permitted to possess or consume without a prescription.
So, thank you. So, Mr. McQueen, I'm going to set you a cash bond in the amount of $5.
We said the caverns. Is there like, he's like a tour guide, like takes you down into the caverns and stuff?
$500 cash. Your bond has a condition that you not possess or consume any substance unless you have a valid prescription for it. Anything
Yes,
that
sir.
requires a prescription, that is. So that the reason we do that is so you could be drug tested. If a judge wanted to drug test you in court, they could do that. Mr. McQueen, you post that $500 cash bond, you'll be released. We show an address, a Caverns Road address. Is that accurate still?
Yes, sir.
Is that on Caverns property or is it just?
By the way, the reason I'm yelling off camera and things like that and pulling down my mic, I ordered DoorDash like before the show started so I could eat a little something before the show started. It still hasn't come yet. And I just have seen that they have dropped off my order at someone else's house. So, yeah.
Just happen to be on that same road.
It's on the property.
Okay. So, just make sure, I hope that address changes. Hope this doesn't affect your
Educational.
employment. But if your address changes, make sure that you give the clerk of court a good address because I don't want you to miss your notice and miss your court date, okay?
Okay.
In other words, hopefully you're still working there, but if this arrest affects your job and you have to move, make sure the clerk of court gets a good address for you. I don't want you to miss your court date, okay?
Understand? Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day, sir.
Arrested for the weed. Shame. Shelly, thank you for the late fee. And if you're new here, late fees are very much encouraged. Not expected. I'm missing you talk. What? Oh, he's got something to say. He's talking to his dude. He's on vacation. That's how it works around here. One person gets the time off, another one doesn't.
Next, we have Christine Mears. Ms. Mears, good morning. Ms. Mears, you're here for first appearance. You've been.
Wow. Hello, miss. Looking good coming in. Looking sexy.
Hey now.
You're not far from. I have no idea. What?
Been accused of 3 charges. You've been accused of 1 count of felony criminal mischief, leaving the scene of a crash involving damage to property and obstructing an officer without violence. Ms. Mears, there is probable cause for these charges. I looked at your history. You have multiple prior arrests.
Man.
You do have a ag battery case from about 3 years ago that was dismissed. But there are some concerning things in your criminal history. You're probably a candidate for a bond, but not a conditional release. But let me see if Mr. McDaniel has anything that I might need to know, or Ms. Bremer. Mr. McDaniel?
Not true.
Your Honor, just life management needs to evaluate her.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bremer?
Your Honor, the state requests a reasonable bond and no contact with Josie Scott.
All right, thank you. So, Ms. Mears, your bond's going to be $10,000 on the felony criminal mischief, $5,000 on the other 2 charges. The reason your bond is out of amount is because of your history. Hang on, let me finish, and I'll try to answer your questions. And also because of the allegations against you. Supposedly, obviously, I've not seen it, but according to the complaint, the alleged victim recorded most of this incident on her phone.
Oh, shit. Can't fight the video. Let's go to the tape, shall we? So this old lady is in trouble for some assaulting. She's a scrapper. I'm jumping past a bunch of comments, by the way, guys. I appreciate all the sentiments for my. Are we talking in code today? Because I am lost as a mother effer. My neighbor's eating my lunch right now. That sumbitch.
And so law enforcement supposedly has a video of all or part of this incident. So Ms. Mears, you do have a condition of no contact with the alleged victim.
Yes.
Your total bond is $20,000 cash or surety. And Ms. Mears, I want to ask the jail to get life management to evaluate you, but I'm not going to hold you past the time you can post a bond. In other words, if somebody gets there to post bond for you today and life management hasn't seen you yet, you have the right to the bond based on what's in the complaint. But if you haven't posted bond, life management will see you. Hopefully that'll happen today. Ms. Mears, do you have any questions?
Can I have permission to speak, sir?
Absolutely. I've been waiting all day to hear what she's got to say. Who is this old lady roughed up? I mean, I find it hard to believe a fine young lady like herself. I think maybe in the fight, her teeth got knocked out, though. Stupid salad.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, ma'am.
Can I have permission to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
3 years ago, that aggravated assault was my husband cut himself on a utility knife, accused me, and I went to jail for what he did.
So we're saying her husband attacked himself with a utility knife and then blamed her. What do you have, like, he stabbed himself on the side? Is that what we're saying?
State attorney dropped that. This time, a headlight got busted. I pulled right in my yard. The lady kept driving. The cops banged down my door.
I gotta rewind that. So she had a busted headlight, and I mean, there's pieces that aren't adding up, lady. 2 and 2 is like 12 with you.
Can I have permission to speak, sir?
Yeah, because I got to hear that
I'm sorry, I
again.
couldn't hear you, ma'am.
Can I have permission to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
3 years ago, that aggravated assault was
Mhm.
my husband cut himself on a utility knife, accused me, and I went to jail for what he did.
Okay.
State attorney dropped that. This
No, you went to
time,
jail.
a headlight got busted. I pulled right in my yard. The lady kept driving. The cops banged on my door. I got tasered 4 times.
Okay, still, again, how did we jump from, I had a busted tail light, I pulled right into my yard, the lady kept going, the police banged on my door, I was tasered 4 times. She's one old tough broad. I'm going to say that. Tough broad. 4 big ones. They confiscated her teeth in the jailhouse. They gave her the old Zaporooski. She's a gummer. Oh. 15 minutes. What up, Bradley?
My truck got impounded and I got sent to jail over a broken headlight.
And tasered 4 times
I'm
over it.
already in life management. I'm already on medication.
The complaint has a lot of information that you all.
Oh, that's a shining testimony for life management or wherever she was just saying she's in, that she's already in it. And this is going on. You're getting tased 4 times. Your cops is beating on your door, and Marky sending $2.
Hey now.
Whoa, that wasn't what I wanted. Shh. Guys in the truck. Thank you, Marky.
Obviously disagree with. The important piece of evidence in this case is going to be the video. Ms. Mears, you've got the bond I've set, ma'am, and you have the right to post the bond. You'll get to use the phone shortly, okay, ma'am?
So how much do I have to come up with
Well,
to get out?
Your bond is $20,000. That means if you go through a bondsman, and if a bondsman charges you 10%, which they may charge you more, they may charge you less, but if they charge you 10%, it'd be $2,000. They charge you 5%, it'd be $1,000. But that's something you negotiate with your bondsman. Any other questions?
Over a broken headlight.
No, ma'am. Over allegedly backing into someone behind you, trying to harm them, and then leaving, and then refusing to come out of your house to talk to law enforcement when they decided to question you. And then after that, allegedly,
Okay.
you resisted them. So,
Wow, that's a whole different story. She tried to run someone over, damages her car, hauls ass back to her house. The law tried to talk to her. They're banging on the door like, let me in, let me in. And then she starts fighting. Boy, that's a whole nother story. There was way more layers to it than she let on. I'm sorry, Doodle Mom.
Miss Mears, that's your bond, ma'am. Have a good day.
Arrivederci.
After Miss Mears, we have Kenyana Brown.
Kenyana Banana.
Sorry about that, Your Honor.
Oh, you can't control that. She just doesn't like me. That's okay.
Well, it's not, I mean,
It's okay.
told me about,
It's
and I mean, I've had
if I was
discussions
in
all
jail,
morning.
I'd be upset. If I was in jail, I'd be upset. And Miss Brown may have the right to be upset. I don't know. We're gonna find out. So Miss Brown, you're here for first appearance, ma'am, on the holdout of Pasco County. Mr. McDaniel sent myself and Miss Bremer a text this morning saying that he didn't understand why you were in jail because you've already been arrested on this charge and posted bond. So I took a look at it, and I think Mr. McDaniel is exactly correct. Corporal.
Damn. She got arrested for nothing. For once, somebody really got arrested for nothing.
I might need some help here. So she was arrested in May on this same warrant out of Pasco County. And she posted bond here. And then she had a local charge here, right, Miss Brown, that you also posted bond on, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then you resolved that case here with a PTI. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you got arrested yesterday on on the Pasco County warrant for the second time. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what agency arrested her yesterday, Corporal? Just about has to be the
I
sheriff's
need to see
department,
that
I
video.
think.
I believe it was Sheriff's Department, yes, sir.
Okay, but the jail accepted her without a signed service of process on the warrant, that may be the normal process. I don't know. Do y'all normally get a signed copy, or does that just go back to the sheriff's department to be put in the system?
We do not usually get a signed copy. All we get from them is just the hit confirmation that the warrant is active.
They normally go into NCIS and confirm that they've served the warrant in the system, and then it kind of goes from there.
So when she gets, when I called the clerk's office, it was before 8 o'clock this morning, our time. I called the clerk's office in Pasco County, and they told me, Corporal, that Jackson County had mailed them the bond, but the paperwork on the warrant did not show it being served. It didn't show return of service. So they had no verification of it being served. So they did nothing.
Jim. Just cause Jim. Just cause. This poor lady, I feel bad for her. If this is the case that she's been arrested for nothing, that's tough.
So my question for you is, in the normal process, when you send that bond, do y'all send the return of service from the jail, or do they get that from the sheriff's department?
They get that from their sheriffs. We're not allowed to serve warrants from another county, so.
I understand you're not allowed to serve them, but I didn't know if you had a copy to send them when you mail the bond paperwork. You do mail the bond. That comes from the jail, right?
That comes,
No.
the bond receipt, we receive, and the clerk gets it from us. So the clerk mails it
sends
to
the
them.
bond paperwork.
Yes.
So don't.
This would be my
So y'all
luck.
never see the warrant. So y'all send the bond, and then the sheriff's department processes the warrant. Okay. So what they said, the clerk's office down there in your case, Ms. Brown, said that they have never received an executed warrant from May, even though we all know that you were served. There's a video of you and you posted bond. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Sergeant Applewhite to follow up with the sheriff's department on both the May arrest.
Got it, Mayor.
And I'll give you that date, Sergeant. And then the arrest from yesterday. So I don't know if our sheriff's department sent it to Pasco County and it got lost in transit, or if our sheriff's department didn't send it. I simply don't know. But we got to follow up and get Ms. Brown's Pasco County warrant out of her system, because she clearly has posted bond.
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Bremer, it appears to me we need to release her immediately and let her deal with this with Pasco County. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McDaniel, is that what we need to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Brown, you're going to be released this morning?
No.
Go ahead, Mr. McDaniel.
I was gonna say, the clerk's office needs to set a hearing. That's what it boils down to, is the Pasco County, they need to set a hearing.
They won't set a hearing because they don't know the warrant's not active. Well, they got the bond information, so you would think they would have called somebody to say, we've got a bond, but we don't have a proof of service on the warrant. But I don't know.
And
Yes, ma'am.
They got sent, it's not signed, but they got sent the warrant back to them with writing all over it. It just didn't say we served it. I mean, I think common sense should have.
Without the warrant that's in their system, it's just got the judge's signature on it. It's just the actual warrant. That's all they were sent back from our jail or from our clerk's office was the warrant. Mr. Williams is going to add something.
Yeah.
They sent us back first appearance paperwork along with the bond paperwork, and they did weeks later. But we don't get served warrants either. I just go by the
Michael.
the bond being posted, and I go in there and show it being served, and then I contact our sheriff's office.
Can we turn her microphone on?
Their system showing that it has to be served too.
Oh, I'd be so mad. She's
what
so
I
calm.
need you to
Look
do,
how calm
please,
she is.
Let's go train Pasco County in the way we do it here. So they hopefully they can get it all straightened out.
Yeah, it sounds that
So
way.
If our sheriff's department sent them the warrant, we've done everything we can do, but other than send it again, Sergeant. So either way, we're gonna get you out of there, Miss Brown. And if I were you, I'd follow up with Pasco County today and ask for a court date, because that's what needs to happen. They may not give you one until they get that warrant information, but hopefully before the day's over, they're gonna have it and show the warrant served. Miss Brown, do you have any questions?
So I need to contact the circuit clerk.
No, you
The
need to
clerk
go
of court in
home.
Pasco County, yes, ma'am. There are two of
Yes.
them. I realized that. I found that out this morning. There's one in like Dade City and one somewhere else. I'm not sure which
And
one.
Newport
but I would.
Richie.
That's the second one. I called the one in Dade City. That's the one I got information from this morning. The reason I called myself because I want to get it done, and our clerk's office wasn't open yet.
Good on the judge
right.
for calling it himself.
Okay,
All right.
thank
Wish you the best, man. Thank you.
thank
I would raise hell.
Mr. McDaniel, that's everything I had on my list. Anything else from the public defender's office?
No, Your Honor.
That's it. That's it from them folks. That's it from this folk. They call me Rose. Good to see you. Again, make sure you're back for We Got a Chase at 4:05. I will be telling you guys something really cool that's going to go on next Saturday night. And They Call Me Rose coming in the clutch with them their gifts. They call me Rose. They call me Rose. Yeah. Much appreciated. Been a while since somebody's dropped those. I really, really appreciate it because it allows, not only does it help myself and Credence, but it also helps out you guys. It's a gift. It's a double-headed gift. You guys get something and we get something. It doesn't get much better than that. It really doesn't. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I know I did. It's always a wife swapping. Is that what we're doing around here? Well, okay. That's what you guys want to do. 5 memberships from Sallyport as well. Sallyport! Look at that. Double-headed gifts once again. Dropping, coming in hot. Make sure you keep your eye out for any of the premieres that'll be happening today. That I put up a really good one from Judge DeSanto, where this guy uses some really foul language towards the judge. Uncensored, by the way. Uncensored. Make sure you check that out. Great time. Yeah. Jonathan is really working hard. I appreciate your work, Jonathan. I've got my eye on you for a mod position. Just letting you know. Your hard work hasn't gone unnoticed. Just like Erica and Kay and Iowa golfer Lisa, not a vampire. So this is the part of the show where I sit back and I tell you all how much I love you. And then I read how much you love me. You don't want to be a mod. Stop playing. Stop playing. Go ahead and renew that thing. Do it. Do it. I appreciate you guys. One and all. Everybody. Even Pamela. Even Pamela. I apologize for all the Creed heads. He's not here today. But I promise he'll be back. He said, see you next Tuesday to all of you. The All Mikey Express kicked off with Gary, of course, Winlaw, Kiernoth, Miss KHNW. I will golf for Lisa. I will golf for Lisa again with some PP action. Doodle Mom and C, who I don't know where she is, Sally, Marky, Jim, and of course, They Call Me Rose and Sallyport. Double-headed for the first time, guys. Double-headed caboose. I haven't had one of those before.
Scissor me, Daddy!
Won't you guys do me a favor and don't you stay safe? Won't you stay hard? Won't you keep an eye out for this huge announcement of something very fun and very cool I've got coming for you right here next Saturday. Keep an eye out for that. And of course, stay tuned. Because this top guy is doing top guy things all day long. Yeah!
Scissor me, Daddy!